Well, another story we're watching closely this morning, President Obama's executive action on gun control. The president looking to expand background checks on potential gun buyers, among other limitations. The president's going to be meeting with Attorney General Loretta Lynch today before moving ahead with the planned executive action. Joining us now is Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Welcome, Judge. Thank you for being here this morning.
Nice to be with you guys.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, Sandra.
So what do you make of this latest push by the president? There are GOP presidential candidates speaking out, as you can imagine. Donald Trump is speaking out. Others are saying this is unconstitutional. Is it?
Well, we don't know exactly what the president's going to do yet, and quite frankly, I don't think the president knows what he's going to do yet because there's very, very little wiggle room for him. Start out with some basics. An executive order is the president signing a piece of paper telling somebody that works for him in the executive branch of the government how to do their job. So an executive order doesn't tell gun sellers how to sell guns. It tells the Bureau of Tobacco and Firearms how to enforce the laws. So can the president tighten the laws and enforce them a little bit more aggressively if he wants? Yes, but not if the effect of that is to prevent law-abiding people from owning guns. Now, here's what I think he's going to do. If I go to a gun dealer to buy a gun, they have to run a background check of me through I live in New Jersey, through the New Jersey State Police, which in turn accesses information from the FBI. That information that they find out about me is only as good as the database, as what's in there.
Correct.
So if I'm secretly a madman, if I have all kinds of delusional mental issues and it's never been reported anywhere, it's not going to show up in the background check, no matter how aggressive the background check is. It's basic mathematics. If it's not in there in the database, it's not going to come out of the database. So the president is frustrated by that, and understandably so, because occasionally madmen do get guns and get them legally. So he wants to change the rules so that if this gun that I lawfully bought I want to sell to my neighbor and friend right here, I would have to do a background check on him. Now, that has been rejected by the Congress. So it's one thing for the president to tell the Bureau of Tobacco and Firearms how to do their job. It's another thing for him to create a law that Congress has expressly rejected. That is unconstitutional and would be stopped by the courts.
Executive order, say he puts this in place, can it be rescinded immediately by the next president?
Absolutely. An executive order is only valid for as long as it stands. There are executive orders signed by Ronald Reagan and Gerald Ford still in existence because presidents have chosen to follow them. But a new president could invalidate.
They're already saying that. Donald Trump said, quote, "We're not changing the Second Amendment." He said, "I will veto that. I will unsign that so fast."
If he was elected president, he would have the authority to rescind every executive order and any executive order signed by any other.
But some of what these Republicans have done in their own states, Chris Christie, Jeb Bush, it's not unlike what the president wants to do in terms of the no-fly list or the terror list. Chris Christie did that in New Jersey, didn't he?
Well,
said you can't buy
here's the story about the no-fly list. This is a sort of left-wing mantra. If you're not good enough to fly, if you're not safe enough to fly, you're not safe enough to own a gun. That makes no sense whatsoever because you can be put on the no-fly list by a bureaucrat checking a box on a piece of paper. That is not sufficient to take away a fundamental liberty like the right to protect yourself. Ted Kennedy was on it, exactly. If they want to take away your right to own guns, they have to prosecute you and show a jury what you did wrong, as opposed to a bureaucrat checking a box on a piece of paper. That will never fly, but he may try to do it. I don't think it will be successful. I don't think that the bureaucracy necessary to effectuate that is so extensive, I don't think he could accomplish it in the 13 months he has left in office.
All right. The president can be meeting with Loretta Lynch later today to discuss his options. Judge, thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Great stuff. All right.